Hey there, I'm Christopher McClure, and welcome to Meditation Happy Hour, which happens every Friday, midday, and that's it's a time where I share meditations, processes, practices, and perspectives, both traditional and modern. Today, I want to share with you sort of an overview of who I am and what I do. I consider myself a Spiro Creato entrepreneur. So three words: Spiro, spiritual; Creato, creative; and entrepreneur, business, marketing, delivery, essentially delivery of messages expressed in many different ways to the world. So I've been meditating over 50 years, and so the most important thing to me is connection to source, connection to what I call the absolute. The absolute is, I think of it as the black hole at the center of the universe, right? It's that from which we all come and that to which we all return. It's pre-form, it's formlessness. And, various spiritual traditions have names for it. The Buddhists call it shunyata, the Hindus call it para-Brahman, para meaning beyond and Brahman meaning God. But essentially it is the formless, and whereas creation, us, the world, animals, planets, is form. So connection to the absolute, but embodying the absolute in life. So that's the basic premise of my spiritual orientation. I've been told that in past lives I've ascended to spirit. So now what I'm here for in this life is to bring that spirit into life, into the physical realm, into embodiment. So the company that I have that sort of embodies this embodiment of the absolute is called Wholeness Geeks, because I believe that absolute can be actually it's like the absolute in a way is like a diamond, and there's facets of the diamond, and those facets of the diamond can be known, and by knowing the facets and by knowing the relationship between those facets and how they relate to the whole, that is a way of knowing the absolute or God. So wholenessgeeks.com. And I've developed the main meditation, the main tool for traversing this journey, this thoroughfare between matter and spirit. It's like a two-way Jacob's ladder. In the Bible, they speak of the Jacob's ladder, but it's a one-way. It's a from matter to spirit, or it's just the evolutionary path. But I believe that the complete human being is actually traversing this thoroughfare. Is bringing spirit into matter and matter back to spirit. So it's a two-way Jacob's ladder, and I call that this 13 element meditation, I call it Platinum Jesus. Okay, so we have the spiritual aspect, the Spiro, and we have wholeness geeks, and we have Platinum Jesus. Now, when we move to the creative aspect, the Creato, I believe that, that the message that comes from spirit, and comes expressed through these facets, through these components. I believe that they can be expressed. The message can be expressed in essentially 5 different ways, in 5 different through 5 different elements, and they correspond to the senses, to to sight, to sight, to sound, to smell, to taste, and to touch. But they also, those 5 senses correspond to the 5 art forms. So you have you have writing, which corresponds to taste. You have music, of course, which corresponds to sound. You have the sight, which of course corresponds to art. You have touch, which corresponds to dance, and you have smell, which corresponds to drama. So they can be expressed, a message can be expressed in these 5 different ways. And I think those 5 different ways also correspond to learning styles. So some people are more, it's like a love language that they, if you speak their love language, then what you're saying goes in and comes back out. You get a response. So the company that I have that represents this idea of multimedia expression is called Prismatic Publishing, prismaticpublishing.com. And I consider myself a creative artist, an interdisciplinary artist. That is actually my degree from Naropa University, is in interdisciplinary arts. So I am familiar, I have skill in each art form. And of course, some of those art forms I'm more skilled than others. But I basically have a method for each one. And this teaching of these various methods I call creative metaphysics. So that's the creative part of it. Now we move on to the entrepreneurial part of it, the delivery. It's like, how does this actually move out into the world and connect with people and be lucrative, so that the artist, the message maker can be sustained. Excuse me. So the way these days, one of the best ways that delivery can be achieved is through AI. AI, makes the translation into digital media that can be shared with masses and have an impact on the world. It's a great tool for doing that. And there is a basic sequence of how I turn an idea, a message, into various forms that can end up creating a community of people who are identified with a certain message or an idea. And that's the business that I have that does this for other people. It's called AIBizbuffet.com. And the sequence, the AI tools, is as follows. So, for instance, what I'm actually expressing to you right now is I started with the idea of Spiro, Creato, entrepreneur, and I use the Enneagram, which is a 9-point geometric figure, which is the way that it's a way of figuring out those facets of the diamond being in this case, the Spiro, Creato, entrepreneur, and the facets are organized through the Enneagram. So I have it right here. It's in a notebook. I don't know if you can see this notebook. Let's see, there we go. And you can see, and I haven't filled in all the lines, but we have point 1 is here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And and I do this with all the ideas. And when I am speaking to you on Meditation Happy Hour, I've done this with each idea. So we start out, we get the ideas, we get them, the components on the chart, and then you speak the components, and that's what I'm doing with you right now, is speaking those components. But then when I get done, first I do it just as a practice, I do it just as a recording, and that recording gets turned into a PDF, and then I do it in vlogcast form, and that vlogcast becomes something that can be posted, and the PDF from the audio of that, both that PDF and the other PDF can be put into a program called Notebook LM, and that gets turned into a podcast, a conversation between a man and a woman. This is all AI, but it's very realistic. And they do an excellent job of actually summarizing and commenting on the topic. So that's the second step. And then the PDF from that can be turned into a blog, and very, very easily. I mean, you just run that PDF through, any kind of language model, and it will can create a blog very easily, and also create images, and then and the images can also be like infographics, and then this information, right, can be can be turned into a book very easily with AI, and along with if you can do deep research on the idea, and you can gather information like from 20 or 30 different sources, and put that information in, and from running it through various GPTs, which are AI agents with a particular task, focusing on a particular task, you keep getting different facets of that idea, and this all gets turned into a book. And the chapters in the book, either that one idea can become a song using AI music, or each chapter can become a song. And if each chapter becomes a song, then it becomes a concept album. and that concept album can have a story connecting those songs through AI. And this book and the concept album and the podcast can all become part of a course, right? That can further enrich the participant, and then all of that information can be made into an AI agent, so that the participant can just ask questions to the agent and gain random access, gain access to that information, can actually have a conversation, but what about, and I wanted to know about this, and, and it's who's this, and, and of course, then things like t-shirts and keychains and, physical objects with swag, basically, regarding the topic can be created. And then a newsletter can be created from all this information, so that it's coming out, every week you have a new piece of this information. And in doing so, a community is created, and of course a website is created, and funnels are created. So these are the basic AI tools. And you can also, if if this is a business that you're actually, doing all this kind of extrapolation on, then the business can have an AI receptionist, which makes communication with the outside world much more efficient and cost effective. So those are the basic AI tools. So those are the components. That was the entrepreneur component. Of course, we went through the Creato component and the Spiro component. So once again, to remind you, this is the sort of the overview of who I am and what I do. And I consider myself a centripetal polymath. So you may have heard the term polymath before. Polymath refers to people who they're involved and tend to be expert in a number of different categories of learning. Poly is many, and math comes from the word, it's Montanian. It's the Greek Montanian, and it essentially means to learn. So it's a person who learns many things. And there's two kinds of polymaths, generally speaking. There's a book that I'm listening to right now by Peter Burke called The Polymath. And throughout history there have been people, Leonardo da Vinci and Ramon Lowell, and it's Thomas Jefferson. But there's generally two types. There's a centrifugal polymath or a centripetal. Centrifugal polymaths are polymaths that they study a lot of different things, but what they study seems to be unrelated, and it seems to be, the motivation to study seems to be more whimsical, whereas a centripetal polymath, it's more organized. There's like a central umbrella. Like in my case, there's the umbrella of Spiro, Creato, entrepreneur, three legs of the table of connecting the spirit and expressing it in many ways and getting it out into the world. So that's why I consider myself a centripetal polymath. So that's it. I'm Christopher McClure from Meditation Happy Hour, talking to you today about sort of my personal branding, the Spiro Creato entrepreneur, and the ideas of being a polymath and the different tools for taking an idea and expressing it in many ways, so that it relates to the love languages of your different listeners, and that I do have a business that actually can do this for you, and yeah, that's it. If you want to ask any questions or make any comments, you can join the Wholeness Geeks Facebook group. And other than that, thanks for watching and listening today.